Beginning with the Daily Democrat newspaper on the front page, oral on track to retrieve billions. It comes with a picture of President John Dramani Mahama and the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, and you can see Okudzeto Ablakwa handing over a stack of books or papers to the president for forwarding to the Attorney General for investigations and prosecution and money retrieval as well. There's also BCM Ghana raises concerns of a property dispute involving Angela List. The story is on the pages 3, 4, 8 and 11 of the paper. Fear grips NPP PROs at ministries and SOEs over discrimination. There's also NPP man at TMPC creating problems. Industry players want him. Miss Evelyn Koran Aminu wins Eastern Regional Council of State elections. Also on the front page of the News Center newspaper, armed soldiers, police raid Ofori Atta's house, though government knew he is abroad on medical treatment. Also on the front page of the News Center newspaper, ICOM's made trade facilitation seamless, falsifying trade documents made nearly impossible. Page 2 of the News Center newspaper. GPHA pledges cooperation with any probe into corruption allegations. Comes with a picture of Brigadier General Paul Siedu Tain Kulonu there. At the back page of the paper, there's some news on a Cassie call paid on the Gamanche. I'll take you to the Custodian newspaper. Minority flays Mahama over scandalous withdrawals of criminal cases. Page 2 of the paper is reporting. We know that the Attorney General has discontinued a number of cases, raising concerns. Some are asking for reasons, although he is not required to provide reasons for filing a nolle prosequa. Also on the front page of the Custodian newspaper, Ekufuado Bawumia paid tribute to Sam Njomuna, late Dr. Sam Njoma, founding president of Namibia, and confirmed oral committee based $21 billion loot on rumors. Stories on page 3 of the paper. Oral committee based $21 billion loot on rumors. That's what the Custodian newspaper is reporting. And government to license Okada riders. Comes with a picture of the Minister for Transport, Mr. Joseph Bukari Nikbe, and Northern Jura citizens push for Herbert Dixon as Nzima East MCE. The stories on page 5 of the paper. These are the stories that the Custodian newspaper is reporting this morning.
Stop it. Crosby, stop that. Come on.
Speak English, my friend. Speak English.
Yes, sir.
What are you talking about? What are you saying?
Yes, sir.
My brother, speak English. Good morning. How are you, Sixtus?
I'm fine.
Did you sleep well?
I'm fine.
Did you sleep well?
I'm fine.
Do you have joy in the morning? Do you have joy this morning? Why are you laughing like that? You are also a PRO at a ministry. who is being discriminated against? Child, they say that they are being discriminated against. So they are.
That headline is funny.
Fear grips NPP PROs at ministries and SOEs over discrimination.
So we are now agreeing that there are MPP PROs and probably NDC PROs.
Not the ministry's PROs.
Not the ministry's PROs or not the professional PROs. We are now admitting, or this paper is now admitting that there are some people who are to be seen as MPP PROs. The thing we have done to our civil and public service, it's bad, oh. It is bad. Somebody will go to school plenty years and come. Then they will set the person aside and put another person on because of color.
Let me read to you what the paper says. The story is on page 11 of the paper. It says a growing sense of unease is sweeping through the public relations department within the ministries and state-owned enterprises over discrimination against media houses and newspapers linked to the NDC party. Instances of discrimination was at its crescendo during the Kufuor government, where these PROs, most of whom were politically exposed, discriminated against the pro-NDC media houses. So that's some explanation for you provided by the Daily Democrat newspaper this morning. There's another thing, sisters, in relation to the concerns over discrimination that we now have some clarity to. The revocation of all appointments made after December 7. People are not happy. Sisters, are you happy?
Prior to this communication, there were indications, in fact, strong indications that we're going to get here.
Yes.
So I am not surprised. In my small office, I receive complaints from various offices on a daily basis. I think we've spoken about the Ghana Water Company incident here on this show. Right. It's also been on Johnny's Bite. Tons of people who, according to staff of the Ghana Water Company, who were brought in and promoted over and above people who had been working in the organization for years. And in the dying days of the Nanado administration, people were just brought in, regularized, and placed above the people who were already in the system.
Right.
And some of the people who spoke with us told us that a lot of the people who came in are people who either lack the qualification or either in terms of the paper qualification or the experience. Or people who are not up to, they are not ready for that promotion.
Right.
So somebody who should have been at an entry level is brought in and shot up to, say, managerial level or directorial level.
Creating a lot of
discrepancies within the system. Pay discrepancies, placement, discrepancy, and all of that. So I am not surprised that we are where we are today. And I am not surprised with the communication that we are getting from the Chief of Staff.
Right.
It was to be expected. If you followed the discussions right from the beginning up to where we are today. And it's not just only the Ghana Water Company that we have received these things.
It is going to almost all head of government institutions, and they are instructing them to comply with the directive. And the decision is expected to affect individuals who are appointed or recruited into various public sector roles after the 2024 general elections.
After 7th December.
After 7th December. Now, while the specific reasons for the revocation have not been detailed, sources are suggesting that it forms part of the government effort to ensure fairness and transparency in the public sector transition process. Let me read to you excerpts of one of the letters. So, consistent with government pronouncement in relation to near end of tenure appointments and recruitment, you know that when the transition team was set up from both sides, the MPP and the NDC, this was something that came up. I wish to bring to your attention that all appointments and recruitments made in the public services of Ghana after the 7th of December are not in compliance with established good governance practices and principles. Now, what I want to ask is, how is this proved? Not in compliance with established good governance and practices and principles. How do we confirm or know that indeed it was not in good governance practices and principles. Mind you, there were appointments made before the ascension to government by the NPP under the Nana Addo administration. The statement continues that accordingly, all heads of government institutions are hereby requested to take the necessary steps to annul any such appointment or recruitment and submit a comprehensive report on the actions taken to this office by the 17th of February 2025. Your cooperation in this matter is highly appreciated. I understand where this is. Yes. I understand where this is coming from, but is it advisable? Is it something proper? Mind you,
is which one proper?
The tangent we are on, revocating the appointments that were made after December 7, saying that they were
not. Are you questioning the seeming wholesale revocation?
Yes.
Or the fact that some recruitments may have been done outside of the regular processes?
No, that I agree. That some were done outside regular processes. What I'm concerned about is the wholesale revocation.
That if you got your appointment after the 7th of December,
automatically you are part of the pool of the people who should come home, even though you may have gone through the right process, you have the right qualifications, the right experience, even better, but you've been asked to come home because 7th December, you're MPP.
But that is why the communication has been addressed to the heads of the various institutions.
Yes.
So that at the institution level, the people are able to determine who came in through the right processes.
Listen to this. I wish to bring to your attention that all appointments and recruitment made in the public services of Ghana, all appointments after 7th December, are not in compliance with established good governance practices and principles. Accordingly, all heads of government institutions are hereby requested to take necessary steps to not investigate, to annul any such appointments or recruitments.
I'm trying to pull up some of the Ghana Water documents, and I'll read some of them to your hearing. I'm not sure.
And Sixtus,
because look, we can't continue to pretend about some of these things, huh? I mean, we will want to be politically correct because, yes, they are Ghanaians. People, all those who benefited from such recruitments are Ghanaians. Yes, some may deserve it. But are you saying that the people who were in the system before these recruitments were made are not equally deserving of the promotions? Is that what you are saying? If the argument is for fairness to one and all, then that fairness and justice should also equally cover the people who were already in the institutions before. I'm trying to get the letters. I'm not getting them again.
You mean
but you would realize that
the one from the Ghana Water Company?
Yes, and it's not just one. So we have letters that are posting people to the Eastern region, posting people to the Volta region, posting people to Upper West region. We have all of these letters, and these letters are all dated post 7th December. Now, let's say that these people were in the system. Okay, let's say that the people were all in the system.
Hold your horses there. So I have a Ghana Water Company Limited letter, and this was issued on the 11th of February 2025, yesterday. And the directive, it is directive to suspend all new recruitment appointed in November 2024. I'll read to you what it says. This serves as a formal directive regarding the appointment made in November 2024. It has been decided to suspend new recruits who were appointed in November 2024 and posted to your respective regions and who are not on the payroll as of January 2025. This is to allow for an assessment of the situation and a comprehensive audit of the processes leading to the engagement. Management will issue further directives when the need
so this is actually the letter revoking the said appointments.
Yes.
Right.
But this is limited
there are
to
specific
November.
letters to specific individuals.
Right.
Giving them employment, or whether you want to say regularizing or formalizing or freshly recruiting, and giving them specific postings to specific places. within the company. And all of these things were done post the elections. And the question is simple. Are we saying that the people who were already within the system are not qualified to be promoted? They are not. Are we saying that the people who were already in the system do not have the requisite qualifications to run some of those, what do you call it, offices that people have been posted to? And these are livelihood concerns. So
right.
Somebody has been working in the organization. The person is probably receiving 500 Ghana cedis. Then you bring in another person, not because the person has any higher qualifications, and you put the person over and above. You are not considering any special skill or talent.
Right.
You are not considering any special qualification. You are not considering any special experience. In fact, there's no clear-cut criteria based upon which we can say that this particular person was recruited and put in this particular position or office. So we come back to the same question.
Right.
The people already in the system, they are not qualified. They are not deserving. So, Crosby, you can't argue for one side and leave the other.
Exactly.
We have to look at it holistically. I really wish I could read one of those letters.
I want to read something to you from the Constitution, Article 191B of the Constitution, stating that, quote, a member of the public service shall not be dismissed from office or reduced in rank or punished without a just cause. And this is from Article 1296B. And it also says that the exercise of the discretionary power shall not be arbitrary, shall not be capricious or biased, whether by resentment, prejudice, or personal dislike, and shall be in accordance with due process of law. Now, the combined effect of these provisions, Sixtus, to the extent that appointment and recruitment were made, if you like, lawfully, in line with due diligence, the termination of these appointments, are they constitutional? Must they be condemned, or were just...
The communication you read earlier from the presidency says that they are not in line with due process.
Now,
so, Crosby, this is a very simple matter. I agree with you that the blanket application may raise some concerns.
It is raising
in
concerns.
Very specific cases. Because it is also possible that within that bracket, there are people
appointed,
who have been duly appointed based on certain qualifications.
Duly promoted
duly promoted as well.
Yeah.
It is possible. It is very possible to reset. So we cannot, just throw the blanket over it and say, all of you, go home. Yes, I agree with you. But that is also why, Crosby, if you are fired, you have a recourse. Go to court, quote that provision that you have quoted, and say that your right has been breached. I mean, it is not. See, let me read. Let me read something to you. Let me read something to you.
Yes.
It's a specific individual who has been named in this text, and it is from one of the organizations.
Okay.
It says that the person got a post-retirement contract for 2 years. And the person is in a managerial position, and the person goes around boasting that, oh, media, I am MPP. That is why I am here. You can't do me foco. You get it. And some of these utterances, some of these reactions that you get from people within organizations, come back to bite those people when the administration gets out of office, because the people you are boasting to, they are pained.
I understand that.
They are pained. And when power changes hands, they will also come for you. So it's also, see, and this person is not just in any regular position. And I understand, as we speak, I understand that the person is still at post. The person is still at post. So do you think that it is fair for the other people who are within the organization
to go ahead of him without due process?
Without due process. So, yes, I mean, jobs matters in this country are sensitive. But when you are arguing for the people Now, I don't even know which of them is the victim. The one who
I mean, 8 years ago, something similar happened.
It always happens.
It always happens when administrations are changing. But certainly, this is not something we can.
This has been taking long.
We can continue.
The announcement was made during the transition processes.
Yes.
It was.
I remember.
Nkrumah was the one who then spokesperson for the transition team. He made that statement.
And then, in fact, Phyllis Kwachio-Fosu saw need to defend those recruitments or those appointments. So we talk about this every time that administrations are changing, but we certainly cannot continue like this. In fact, the Chief of Staff in January this year, he asked that he issued a directive to all heads of government institutions requesting detailed information on staff members added to the payroll since December 7. So if he got this information, then it is informing why he's doing this blanket directive.
I mentioned Ghana Water. Somebody has just sent me a quote. This is attributed to the great one, the acting chief executive of Ghana Water. It's a quote that he was speaking to Busuno youth. Okay. And it says that approximately 281 were last-minutely recruited at GWL prior to the MPP leaving office. I will examine the hiring process and help the unemployed NDC faithfuls. Now, you see the statement.
Yeah. You started nicely. You start nicely. Then
you fly well and fall flat. So this is the problem.
Exactly.
This is the problem.
Last-minute appointments and the consequences. I mean, the burden on these people as well.
People are just flatly, ignoring the processes. You see, if I am to get a recruitment in any of the organizations, I have to go through the process, so that I will not suffer this kind of victimization, quote and unquote.
In fact, there are those who say that some of the appointments are backdated to cover up this illegality. So even though your appointment, you got maybe your appointment letter is dated maybe August or November, you know that you got into the company after December. It means you'll be part of those brackets that will be investigated. Sixtus Ullo will be taking Johnny's bite shortly, but let's talk about the Council of State elections.